all there.
Yeah, he pops up in Siren's dreams.
Yeah.
Seems to know things he shouldn't.
Uh,
Like he's...
all right, deep dive time. We're ditching the research papers and analyses today.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, right. We're going right to the source. And diving headfirst into a screenplay this one's called Transient by Sergio Mario Bustamante.
Ooh, Transient.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no critic reviews,
I like it.
no audience interpretations, just
vibes.
yeah, just the raw source material.
Nice.
Which is really cool because you get to see like the bare bones of a story before anything's been done with it.
It's like getting a sneak peek into the writer's brain.
Totally.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is that Bustamante throws the whole beginning, middle, end structure right out the window.
He does.
It's not a linear storyline.
Okay.
It's more like he took a bunch of different moments and scattered them throughout the script.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's non-linear storytelling.
Right. And that can be so powerful, I think.
It can be.
When it's done well.
Yeah.
When it's not just sort of like, oh, I'm just going to jumble this all up.
Right.
It's like you really think about it.
Yeah.
Have you seen Pulp Fiction?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's a great example of how it can be used effectively to like create suspense and make those connections that you don't expect and challenge your perception of time.
Right. And so how do you think Transient uses it?
Well, that's the question.
Yeah.
How does Transient use it? What stood out to you?
Right from the first page, we're just thrown into this whirlwind of scenes.
Okay.
You know, 1 minute we're witnessing a man's final moments, the next we're seeing a baby being born. And it's almost like you're piecing together a puzzle, like how do these moments connect?
Right.
And what do they mean?
And that's, I think, where the fun begins.
Totally.
Right. It's like you're trying to decipher this puzzle box that the writer has created.
Yeah.
It's not just about the chronology of events, though, is it? It's about the juxtaposition of life and death and beginnings and endings. Yeah. That's a recurring motif that I think really speaks to something deeper about the film's themes.
So let's talk about Matt.
Okay, yeah.
Our main man, Matt.
Right.
He is a successful filmmaker.
Okay.
His short film Ringer just took off. Mm-hmm. But he seems a bit emotionally closed off.
Really?
Especially when it comes to family.
Interesting.
Did you get that sense too?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes his relationship with his sister Siren so interesting.
Yeah.
She's battling like a really serious illness.
Yeah.
And there are these hints of a shared trauma in their past, something about an attempted assault.
Right.
Like you can practically feel the weight of these unspoken emotions between them.
Yeah, it's palpable.
It's like a wall built from just years of unaddressed pain.
Totally. And it makes you wonder if Matt is using filmmaking as a way to escape that pain.
Ooh.
Like to avoid confronting those really difficult emotions.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
Is his ambition a shield?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And speaking of interesting characters.
Yeah.
We can't forget Derek.
Derek.
Right.
Okay, so he's the actor. Tess is the lead in Matt's film.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an air of mystery surrounding him.
100%.
Like the screenplay never really explicitly reveals
what his deal is.
Yeah. What's his deal?
Right. And he's almost like this guardian angel figure.
Yes.
But with this underlying sense of like, I don't know, he's something else.
He's not all there.
Yeah. He pops up in Siren's dreams.
Yeah.
Seems to know things he shouldn't. Like he's operating on a different plane of existence almost.
Yeah, he's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Exactly.
And it's like Bustamante's dropping these little breadcrumbs, these little hints that there's something more to Derek than meets the eye.
Right. Like what's his connection to Siren?
Yeah.
What are his motives?
Totally. And where do all these breadcrumbs lead?
Where do they lead?
To the wonderfully creepy Meyerton house.
Meyerton's house, of course.
Gotta have a creepy house.
He's gotta have it.
Right.
And it's not just a setting for Matt's film.
Right.
It's practically a character in itself.
Oh, absolutely.
You walk in and you can just feel the weight of its history like pressing down on you.
It's like that house has absorbed all the heartbreak, every secret, every tragedy that's ever happened inside its walls.
Yes.
Yeah. And haunted houses often serve a much deeper purpose.
Okay.
In stories like this, I think.
Yeah.
They're not just spooky backdrops. They're reflections of the character's internal struggles.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
So how do you think Meyerton House mirrors what's going on with Matt and Siren and even Derek?
I think it's feeding off of their energy.
Like as their anxieties and their fears increase, the house seems to react,
Oh.
almost like it's mirroring their internal turmoil,
Wow.
you know? Yeah, it's wild to think that this place, the Myerton house, is like this melting pot of, personal demons and like spectral echoes.
Right.
But it's not all doom and gloom.
Oh.
There are these flickers of hope,
Yeah, yeah.
like these hints of redemption woven throughout.
Totally. And I think we see that most prominently with Matt.
Yeah.
Just struggling to connect with Siren before it's too late.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to make up for lost time.
Yeah.
Trying to find forgiveness for maybe not being there
Totally.
the way that she needed.
Yeah, and then you've got Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Johnson.
This character who kind of pops up as Matt's confidant.
Right.
And you get the sense that he carries his own baggage,
His own past mistakes.
Yeah, like their journeys, though, seemingly separate, are kind of mirroring each other.
Interesting.
Both seeking some kind of absolution or some way to mend the broken pieces of their past.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, can we ever truly escape the consequences of our actions?
All right.
Or do they just linger and shape the course of our lives?
Ooh, I like that.
And then just when you think you're starting to understand the rules of this world,
Yes.
Bustamante throws another curveball.
Of course he does.
He introduces these, like, fleeting glimpses of children,
Okay.
often appearing in these kind of unsettling or unexplained ways.
Interesting.
It's subtle at first,
Okay.
almost easy to dismiss.
Right.
But you start to wonder, are these children simply figments of a character's imagination? Or is there something more? Something maybe tied to the history of Myerton House?
Ooh, spooky children.
Right.
Yeah.
And what really stuck with me is how Bustamante uses these children to kind of blur the lines between reality and the supernatural.
Oh, interesting.
It's like he's playing with our primal fears,
Right.
our fascination with the unknown.
100%. And it's that masterful manipulation of tension and ambiguity
Totally.
that keeps you glued to the page.
Oh, for sure.
And speaking of things that keep you guessing,
Yeah.
let's talk about the break-in at Myerton House.
Oh, yeah.
What is going on there?
It initially feels like just a publicity stunt.
Okay.
Someone's trying to scare the film crew.
Yeah.
But then as the screenplay unfolds, you realize that nothing is as it seems. And things at Myerton House go from unsettling to downright bizarre.
Okay.
And it all culminates in this discovery that kind of sends shockwaves through the narrative.
What is it?
A body is found.
Oh, no.
And not just anybody.
Okay.
The police identify the victim as Dale Frash,
Still fresh.
who is a convicted rapist with a history of violence.
Wow. Things just took a turn.
Talk about a chilling turn of events.
Yeah, so now that line between the supernatural and the real world is even more blurred.
Totally.
Right.
It's like, what is even real?
What is going on? Is this some form of cosmic justice?
Right.
Enacted by these spirits that might be inhabiting Myerton House, or is there something else at play here?
Right. It's like you want to believe in the supernatural explanation, but then there's that part of you that's like, okay, but there's got to be a rational explanation.
Right.
And then Bustamante throws another bombshell.
Another one.
Oh, yeah. Remember that drawing Siren made?
Oh, of her guardian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one she gave to Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it turns out
Yeah.
it's a portrait of Derek.
What? No way.
How is that even possible?
I know.
It's like she has this weird connection with him.
I know, right?
Like beyond just a fan and a celebrity,
Right.
she sees something else in him.
Totally. And as the story unfolds,
Yeah.
we get confirmation that Derek is not just an actor playing a role.
Okay.
He is something more profound.
More profound.
Something that challenges our understanding of life
Okay.
and death and everything in between.
All right. So what is he then?
Well, it's revealed that he might actually be the spirit of Andrew Brewster.
This young man who died tragically a few years earlier.
Wow.
Yeah. And if that isn't enough,
Right.
remember the investigation into Dale Frash's death.
Yeah.
Things take an even spookier turn.
What happens?
So the evidence suggests that Frash wasn't killed by like an individual person. He was killed by children.
What?
And not just any children.
Right.
The fingerprints match 2 kids who died in that Myerton house fire back in 1975.
Oh my gosh. So there's like a whole spectral squad
I know, it's like a whole team.
working together.
Yeah, and Derek is kind of their anchor.
Okay, but why are they all so invested in protecting Siren?
It's almost like they've become these guardians of Myerton house,
Okay.
these protectors of innocence. You
Okay.
know, like they're seeking to right the wrongs that have happened within those walls.
So they're trapped there,
It seems like,
unable to move on.
yeah, but maybe their presence,
Yeah.
Maybe this intervention is their way of finding some peace,
Right.
some purpose.
Wow.
Okay, so follow me on this one.
Okay.
If Derek is a spirit,
Right.
how do you explain his interaction with, like, the physical world?
That's a good question.
He's acting in this film.
Right.
He's driving a car.
Mm-hmm.
He's sharing meals
Yeah.
with Siren's family.
Okay.
It doesn't really add up.
It doesn't add up.
And this is where Siren's insights offer a possible explanation.
Okay.
So she refers to Derek as the one.
Right.
And it's almost suggesting that he has chosen to manifest this way.
Okay.
Perhaps he's drawn to Siren
Okay.
and her vulnerability.
Yeah, she's sick.
Right? It's like she's this conduit, this beacon that allows him to bridge the gap between the realms.
Wow.
And it all circles back to this powerful theme of connection
Yeah.
that runs throughout the entire screenplay.
The connections we make.
Yeah, the bonds we forge, the
Yeah.
love we share.
Yes.
It transcends the physical limitations of this life.
Wow.
Death isn't an ending.
Right.
It's just a transition.
To another state of being.
Exactly.
Where those connections can maybe still exist.
Transient reminds us that even in the face of loss,
Yeah.
even in death,
We're not really alone.
we are not alone.
Wow. I'm getting chills over here.
It's a good message, right? And it got me thinking,
Yeah.
what does it truly mean to live?
Ooh, that is the question.
Is it about chasing success,
Right.
building a legacy, or is it about something more profound, something that endures beyond our physical existence?
Transient suggests it's the connections.
Yes.
The love.
It all comes back to that.
Right. Those are the things that really matter.
And those are the things that give meaning to our lives.
In this world and the next.
If you're looking for a story that will challenge your perceptions of life and death and this power of connection,
Check out Transient.
check out Transient.
It's a wild ride.
A wild ride. But ultimately,
It's a story about love.
about love
The power of love.
and the strength of the human spirit.
Beautifully said.
And that wraps up our deep dive
Into Transient.
into the captivating world of Transient.
Yes.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.